back to the Content Playbook, the podcast where we dive deep into the strategies, challenges, and stories behind the most impactful content creators. I'm your host, Riso2, and today is a very special episode. We have a very special guest, as you can see. It's a guest whose story spans television, journalism, fatherhood, and now film. You may know his work on Cheddar News, or maybe you follow his empowering content about his family life and fatherhood on social media. He's an Emmy award-winning journalist, a best-selling author, and now he made his big screen debut in Tyler Perry's Duplicity. I'd like to welcome to the Content Playbook, Mr. Shannon Lanier.
Hey, so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for being on the show. So welcome to the show. So let's get started, because I know you have a very busy schedule. So we're just going to get a few questions, get a background, let people know who you are if they don't already know who you are. So
I'm like, where do I start? I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I was born and raised on the playground. That's where I spent most of my days. No, I'm also a nationally syndicated television personality. I was just in Tyler Perry's Duplicity, amazing movie on Prime Video. Make sure you check it out. And I also do a lot of family fun content on social media at Mr. Shannon Lanier. Make sure you like, follow, share, all that good stuff. Because I do a lot of fatherhood stuff, funny stuff with the kids. We just like to have fun. So much negativity in the world. We like to have a little levity and make it a little bit more fun for folks.
All right, very good. Thank you very much. So let's take it back for a second. You've built an incredible career in media, from news anchor to TV host to author. What sparked your passion for storytelling in the media in the first place?
I guess it's just one of those things I've always been interested in doing. I went to Hughes High School in Cincinnati, where we specialize in different industries, and mine was television and mass communications. And so ever since high school, I've kind of always known what I wanted to do. Even before that, I was the kid who had a video camera running around making home videos and different things like that. So I was always on the pulse of entertainment, if you will, and being in the spotlight and notifying people what's happening in the world. And it just blossomed into a news career, television career, and then into another form of entertaining, which was through movies. And I guess that's where it all began, when I was making home movies at home with my family. So full circle.
Oh, wow. So, and now you've stepped into an entirely new realm. It acted in a major motion picture. So I know you've been in stuff before. So let's talk about what you've done before. Your little stuff before before Tyler Perry's Duplicity.
Oh, I did several movies. I just finished my new reel. I posted it on Instagram of my different acting things that I've done. I did Survivor's Remorse. I did God's Not Dead, the second or third one, Light in the Darkness. I did small roles on Power and Empire, commercial roles, different things. It's just one of those things I've always wanted to do, but now I've had the ability to step out, thanks to the Tyler Perry success, step out and do it more full time now. So it's been a blessing. It's been a dream come true, and I'm super excited about where God's taking me next.
That's awesome. So let's talk about Tyler Perry's Duplicity. Your character is named Shannon.
Yeah, isn't that strange?
Right.
So that's a hard one, right?
It's like when trying to check down who's Shannon. Oh, Shannon's playing Shannon. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because when Tyler Perry told me, he called me and asked me to do the part, and I was like, definitely, not a problem. I'm there. And he said, you'll know the character when you see it in the script. And I'm like, well, how am I going to know the character when I see it in the script? And then I look at the script, and I was like, oh, okay, I got it. His name is Shannon Marcus, with a K, Marcus. So he's like me, but still very different in some aspects, a little bit more rigid, a little bit more serious than I am. But it was fun creating this character that was similar to me but different than me, and try to be a sort of a detective, because the story revolves around my co-anchor whose husband was just murdered or killed, and we got to figure out what really happened, because what you see happen isn't necessarily what really happened. And so we try to uncover the details and the twists and turns that lead us to conclude what really happened.
All right. And so when this opportunity came about, was it a surprise to you? As far as Tyler Perry, was it Tyler Perry contacted?
It was like, no, it was like out of the blue. I was just sitting in my office and got a phone call and said Tyler Perry wants to speak with you. And I'm like, okay, why? And they're like, I don't know. We were told to get you on the phone, and here we are. I was like, okay, let's go. And so it was one of those divine blessings that you could never predict would actually happen. I mean, that Tyler Perry would call me and ask me to do a film. It was just like mind blowing.
Right. And so, and the movie's very good. And I know when it debuted back in March, it was the #1 movie.
Hey!
Just, an hour after it premiered?
It was crazy. You know, when Tyler Perry does something, he knows his audience. And the interesting thing about this, it's not your typical Tyler Perry film. It is a thriller, it's a drama, it's gonna have you on the edge of your seat, second guessing yourself what really went down. So it got, I think, the true followers of Tyler Perry, they flocked to it. But then it also got new people that weren't familiar with his work, and a more diverse crowd also. They were coming like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And now people are like, I had to go back and watch other Tyler Perry films because of this one. So it's pretty exciting to see the success and the draw that it's had and how many people have gravitated towards it. I mean, he's a genius, so I mean, that helps.
Right. I mean, like I said, the movie is very good. It blew me away.
Well, I mean, I have to give it up to this amazing cast. I mean, I was a newcomer on the team, but, you have Kat Graham, who is just phenomenal. She leads along with Megan Tandy. Them together is just a powerhouse of talent and skill, and it's like watching a masterclass, watching them work. They're just so good at what they do. But you also have Tyler Lepley, who all the ladies love. He's in this. You got Long Island's own Nick Barada. He's from The Oval. A lot of people are familiar with his character from that, as well as Ronrico Lee, who's been around forever. So it still looks like he's 25. I don't know how he does it,
man,
but it's an amazing cast and talents that we were just surrounded by greatness, with Tyler Perry leading the way. Starting off with prayer every day, and then just trying to get in there. He's directing us, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm being directed by Tyler Perry. And it was just phenomenal, mind-blowing again. I just don't know how to describe it.
Right. So you've been around stars most of your career, Mm-hmm. So do you still get starstruck when you meet different people from movies? Like being in this movie, were you kind of starstruck? Because I think you said I believe you worked with Rico before. On different films.
Yeah, Ronrico was in Survivor's Remorse. I mean, I interviewed half of the people before that have been in this, and interviewed Tyler Perry multiple times before. So I'm not starstruck, but it was intimidating working with him on this level. Like when I'm in my element and I'm the anchor and I'm reporting on a story or I'm interviewing someone, it's my job, and I interview celebrities all day, every day. But on this side, I'm now taking on a different role, and I've got to impress him and everyone else and prove that I deserve to be there. So it was scary, it was intimidating, but I prepped for months ahead of time, acting classes, private training, all these things to get ready for it, to make sure I was prepared so I didn't mess up my moment. And so everybody said I did a great job, so I was like, whew, okay, pulled it off. But it was nerve-wracking to make sure that you gave 150%, you know what I mean? And so I did. I made sure my lines were ready. I made sure I knew everything. I made sure I was as prepared as humanly possible before I even hit the set. So that was important to me.
That's really good. So it's such a cool connection that you have with, being able to just be contacted by a Tyler Perry accent, to be in the movie, have a character with your name. So it's not like a big name that you have to, a first name that you have to constantly remember that's who you are.
Right.
So now that this film deal is there, with some powerful themes, I mean, you have like you said, deception, media manipulation, the power of truth. Did any real life experience as a journalist influence how you approach the role?
Yeah, definitely, because you don't have to know how you deliver the news, and the touch of the ear when the mood change when breaking news comes in. So yeah, it was helpful to know the dynamics of the newsroom, because nobody knew that more than me. Because I was even asking Mr. Perry, I was like, can I change this? He was like, this is your world. You do what you need to do to make it more realistic. So I was like, bet. And then I was like, and I want to change this. I want to change that. He's like, oh, now you just want to change everything. I was like, no. I just want to make it more like what I would do in this situation. He was like, you have full control. I was like, bet. So that was exciting that he trusted me that much to be able to do that, because technically I was the only one that had been in that space for 20 years as a television anchor or and a journalist, to know what really happens in those situations. So it was kind of exciting to have that expertise to be able to lend to the project.
That's really good. So I imagine moving from live broadcasting to the set of a feature film has its challenges. What was the biggest adjustment for you during the process?
I guess I don't know if it was an adjustment, but getting used to doing it multiple times. Like in live television, you get one shot and it's done. But here we got different takes, so it was nice that I had the ability, like, okay, I want to change it up this time, or I want to do it differently this time, or I get a second chance. I didn't like my delivery, now I get a chance to do it again. So that was exciting to perfect it in the moment. But and sometimes Tyler Perry's directing, and he's like, do it this way or change it up this way, So it was interesting to have that aspect of being able to have a second chance. So, because in live TV you don't get that.
That's true. We're gonna pivot a little bit. You have a strong build and authentic platform about fatherhood, family life. Your content. I know you did a podcast called Daddy Duty 365, which was inspiring and refreshing. What inspired you to start sharing your life as a father online?
I felt like it was important for people to see a positive image of fatherhood, to see that there are guys out here doing what they need to do every single day of the year to better their families, their lives, their communities. And so I wanted to shine a light on that and show that I'm not a unicorn. There are tons of amazing fathers out here that are doing what they need to do every single day of the year. And so I felt like that was an important thing, especially as a black man, because a lot of times we get slated as the deadbeat dad, the father who's not present, and I am positively, unapologetically present in my kids' lives every day, all day. And even when I'm not with them, I'm involved. And I wanted to show that because, studies show that African American fathers are more present in their kids' lives than their counterparts. But that's not the narrative that you hear. Right. But I believe the numbers. So, and maybe that's because a lot of them didn't have fathers growing up, and so now they want to be more active in their kids' lives. But I just find it important to make sure we correct some of the wrong narratives that have been put out into the world. And so that's one of my objectives.
That's really good because I've been following you for a long time. So,
Thank you.
So like doing when you did Daddy Duty 365, it was really good, really inspiring. Then especially because when you had your daughters, I said, I messaged I need you to do stuff with doing hair. That's what I need, because I have a little girl. I need to know how to do this hair when her mother is not available to do her hair. So,
well, tune in, because most Sunday nights on TikTok we're doing hair. Most Sunday nights on TikTok, my daughter looks forward to it now. She's like, Dad, what style are we gonna do this weekend? And I'm like, I don't know. We're making up stuff at this point. We're but yeah, blow drying hair, corn rolling. We did corn rolls last week. We blow drying. We're straightening. I'm like, we get it done.
I saw the one when you were straightening her hair, so it was hilarious because it was you had both you had two phones. I was on Instagram. I was on Instagram Live, and then I heard you was talking about the TikTok Live. I was like, he going at it with both.
Yeah, we usually have a larger audience on TikTok, but I was like, let me try it on Instagram and see what happens. But now I'm thinking I may go back to TikTok and Facebook because, I don't know, just a lot of people have been gravitating to Facebook. And I'm like, I usually don't even post on Facebook, just my Instagram goes to Facebook. But have been getting huge numbers over on Facebook. So I'm like, okay, maybe I need to do more Facebook. So we'll see. I gotta figure out, and maybe I gotta Google to see if there is an app where I can go live on all platforms simultaneously. Because I should be.
There is. Yeah, there's several apps. We can talk about that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So for your stuff, your authenticity really shines through when you're creating family content. I love News Anchor Dad.
Thank you.
So how do you balance being transparent while still protecting your personal boundaries?
My family helps me protect the personal boundaries because they're like, no, Dad, we can't do that. No, I don't want to do that. That's embarrassing. So, and a lot of people think a lot of my things are just like in the moment, but a lot of times they're skits, they're practiced, they're scripted out, so that everybody's on board with what's going to happen. And so I think that helps planning, because otherwise the kids are like, no, or my wife's like, no. Because I can get a little out of pocket sometimes, so they gotta reel me back in. There's a few I'm thinking of, but even telling you about it might be embarrassing to them, so I can't. But yeah, they help balance me out, and then I try to just make sure I don't put anything too embarrassing that they are going to be like, not able to recover from, because all their friends follow me on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, Snapchat. And so I gotta be careful to protect them. But at the same time, we take it as it's not real life. We take it as they're actors, they're actresses. They are portraying, yes, a character that is them, but a sillier, funnier, outrageous version. So if someone maybe spilled milk on the counter and didn't clean it up, when we reenact it, it'll be that the milk exploded and went everywhere, and then it's all over the people's face and clothes, and then they just walk away and didn't clean it up. So there is truth in the skits, but it's usually reenacted because in the moment it's not as funny, or I'm upset, so I'm like, let me calm down before I hurt somebody, and then we reenact it. Or maybe it didn't even happen to my kids. Maybe it's something that happened to my brother Sean and I in our childhood, and we're reacting. Oh, it happened to a friend, and they told me a story, and I'm like, oh, that's a great Instagram or TikTok video. We got to do that. And so that's where a lot of them come from. But a lot of times, I consider the social media as a business. You know what I mean? And we are providing content. It's like what I've been doing my entire life as a content creator on television. I'm just bringing to a new medium on social media and acting out skits and funnies and having a good time. And I get to bond with my family at the same time, which is a win-win situation for me.
It definitely is, because y'all look like y'all have tons of fun when y'all.
When they're not getting on my nerves, because sometimes when I do videos with all three of my kids together, it is a circus. So trying to get them all to, we spend 15-20 minutes just cutting up and getting our sillies out before we can actually get a 30-second video shot. So if I'm in a rush, I'm like, come on, let's go, let's do this, everybody, let's go. And then we're just too busy having too much fun to actually focus on what we need to do.
But then that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because you want to have fun.
Exactly.
When you're doing it. So, and the ones I really love is with you and your wife. It's hilarious. It's when she's leaving, like she's going somewhere, but she leaves you with the kids, or when you say the wrong thing and because you've died 100 times so far.
At least. And people, and I tell people love seeing her on social, and I'm like, you gotta do something, but she's just so busy. She's like, you should do a video showing. Because people are always like, where's your wife? Where's your wife? Especially when I'm doing hair, because I don't know why they can't imagine a guy doing hair. Like, where's the mom? Where's the mom? She's like, you need to do a video showing all the other things that I'm doing and why I'm not in all of your videos. So we started collecting little pieces of where I'm doing something and she's off cooking and cleaning and working. And she's like, handling business. And so when I can get her in, I do get her in, but people love the rest in peace ones because I'm always saying something stupid. And it's like my obituary, like rest in peace. I'm like, Yeah. Not that it's me. I've been married almost 21 years, so I know not to do half of those things. But I got a lot of friends who are just
Still do it.
not the smartest when it comes to what they should and shouldn't say to their wife. So I'm trying to help them out and keep them alive by letting them live vicariously through me.
Yeah, because it was the latest one I saw. It was about the dishwasher.
Oh.
Just broke in. He's like, "That's what I have you for." I was like, "Oh, Shannon done died again."
All right, she was like, if you really said that, I was like, I know. But I was like, but it's fun for other people.
Right.
Yeah.
So, for parents or professionals, who are listening, thinking about becoming a content creator, what advice would you give them about staying consistent, building a personal brand, and connecting with the right audience?
I would say it's important to make sure you plan ahead, because if you don't plan ahead, you're going to get sidetracked. You're going to be trying to post something day of, and it's just going to be a lot of work. So it's best to try to plan ahead, get stuff in as soon as you can to try to get things ready, prepared, and on point. Because if you're not, then you're not going to focus on good quality content. You're just going to be rushing to get anything done. And then your page is going to suffer. So try to be authentic to who you are. Find something organic to what you already do. Like, I've tried other things when I especially first started out. I was like, oh, I'm going to try this and I'm going to do this. That was just so difficult because it wasn't natural to what was going on in my everyday life. So I tried to retool and say, okay, what can I do that is organic to my life? It's not going to be a side, well, it is a side hustle, it is a side gig, but it's not going to be a full-time hard job because it's already happening. So that's when I decided to go into fatherhood and parenting, because I'm a parent, I'm a father, and I'm a news anchor. So I blended all of those things together to create this persona. It is a peek inside of our lives, but it's also a more, amped up version of what happens in our lives. But it was easy because once I locked into who I am and what are the dynamics of my life, it made it a lot easier. So I'd say look at your lives, figure out what it is you do professionally or personally, and try to gear it towards that. If you're a realtor, maybe focus on, realtor either advice or showing homes or tips, or maybe a realtor balancing a family. Show how you do all of that at the same time. So try to find out what's organic to your life, what's interesting, what's exciting, and then run with it.
That's very good. That's very good advice. So now that you got your first full feature film under your belt, what's next? Is it? I know you talked about you going full time for acting. So what's your long-term vision?
Full-time actor, influencer, just staying busy on the road and at home, and preferably I can find a lot of gigs in New York. Because I just heard Anthony Anderson. He was in the G20 movie with Viola Davis, and he said they spent 6 months in Africa filming the movie. I was like, I don't want to be gone for 6 months. I don't know how I could survive that. So I love that Tyler Perry shoots very fast. It's like 2 weeks and we do a whole movie. And I love that. I was like, if I can get more of those type of situations, that'll be ideal for my family. But just more acting, more social media, just putting it out there, feeding the beast, as they say, and just living a better work-life balance where I'm able to spend more time with my family instead of hustling 9 to 5, which is usually in my industry 9 to 8, if not longer, to get the job done. So I want to be able to really feed into my family while they're at this age, and then maybe later I'll switch it up again.
All right. So I'm about to hit you with some rapid fire questions.
Let's go.
All right. Favorite Tyler Perry film besides Duplicity?
Oh, come on. It has to be Duplicity. Definitely a Medea film. Any of those.
Okay. Best advice you ever received?
Ooh, live every day if it was your last, because tomorrow is not promised.
All right. What's more stressful? Morning news show or a movie set?
Morning news show, because it's live and you never know what's going to happen.
All right. And what keeps you inspired?
My family. doing the best that I can to make their lives easier, better, happier. Keeps me focused. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me pushing ahead when I'm exhausted and work still needs to get done. Thinking about my family. I gotta set an example for them and make sure I provide.
All right. Well, Shannon, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Your evolution from the newsroom to the big screen and then everything in between is a powerful example of how creators can grow, pivot, and keep impacting the world in new ways.
Amen. Well, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you.
All right. Once again, thank you, Mr. Shannon Lanier, for coming on. Make sure you check out Tyler Perry's Duplicity on Amazon Prime right now. Make sure you follow Mr. Shannon Lanier at Mr. Shannon Lanier on all social platforms. All right. Thanks again. Thank you for stopping by.
Yes, sir.
All right. Once again, I'd like to thank Shannon Lanier for stopping by. Once again, make sure you follow him on all his social medias at Mr. Shannon Lanier. This has been the Content Playbook. I have been your host, Riso 2, and I'll see you next time. And always stay creative and stay inspired.